Right, hello. So basically today I'm going to run a little bit of a tutorial on applying configuration files to your PS2 games. So shout out to username Edge7 on eBay, who got back to me with a way to basically inject your configuration file into the game with just using your USB stick basically, and then running it. Now the setting is in WebMAN, and I have found that for the setting to apply you do need to basically mount the ISO using WebMAN, but I'm going to get to that a little bit later. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go into WebMAN itself. So we need to go to WebMAN Games. What I'm just going to do is just zoom in here so you can see that. So WebMAN Games, WebMAN Setup, and then PS3 WebMAN Setup. And then just up here, where you see it says scan for content, just going to zoom in. So where the little hand is I've got, you'll see it says scan for content. Press X on there. And then you will find that PS2 and PS1 NetMU are not ticked. So what you need to do is tick these. Now mine are already ticked, yours won't be. So I'm just going to point at them. So let's just see. So this one here, PS2 NetMU, and underneath PS1 NetMU. So make sure both of those are ticked, and then what you'll need to do is save your settings, which basically you just go down to the bottom and you select save. I'll just zoom out slightly so you can see that. So you can just see at the bottom there, I'm just going to come in a bit closer, where it says save, and then the system will restart. Okay. Now I don't need to do that, but yeah. So once you've done that, you then need to head over to the PS2 config database. So if you've got a message from me with this link, I will also give you the link to the database. If you haven't, and you're just viewing this on my YouTube channel, just put in PS2 config database, and it'll be the first one that comes up through Google. And you select on that, and you will find all the games there. And you will find some games have maybe 3 or 4 different configuration files. And if you've got a problem, just say loading the game in the first place, just go through the different configuration files until you find the one that actually works. The way you apply the file is through MultiMAN. I'm going to show you that in just a second. So once you've gone onto the web page and you've downloaded, say it's got 3 files. So Black does have 3 files. We've got to make sure we've got like a USB stick like this. This has got to be formatted to FAT32. All right. And then we've just put it into our console. Obviously, once you've found the 3 configuration files, or whatever, 4 or 5, could even be, however many it is, copy them over to your USB stick, and then put the USB stick into your PS3. Now what you want to do is you want to go into MultiMAN, so we go into MMCM, and you will find that the config file has a bunch of numbers, and then it will say .config. And we're going to need to change that name. I'm going to show you what we need to do right now. So basically you just go over to File Manager, so it's all the way over, right to the far left menu, just under Update is File Manager, so we just select that. This poor thing is just trying to right. I was constantly trying to focus. Yeah. Okay, alright. I mean, not a lot I can do about this auto-focusing problem. I think it's leveled out. Right, so basically we will go to PS3 root, and then using the right stick we would select our USB, and then on here you will find your file, in our case, and it will be labelled .config. So you just go through your files that you've got on your USB stick, and here you can see it. It's sles_540.30.config. What we do here is we will press the circle button, press X to copy. Now you can quit out of this completely because that's your USB. You can go back into PS3 root, go into dev HDD0, go into PS2 games, just trying to stop it auto-focusing. There you can see it's a PS2 games, that one there, and now you will press the circle button again, and now you select paste. It will say, do you want to do it? You select yes. Once you've done that, you will see your config file just here. What you want to do is change the name of it to exactly the name of the game, and then .config. So as you can see, black here, that's the name of the game that we've got the config file for, is called black.iso, and it needs to be exactly like that .config. So it's black.iso.config. Okay, it has to be exactly like that. The config has to be in capital letters, exactly like that. And then if black was all in capitals, it would have to be all in capitals. If it isn't, and it's just got the capital B, it's exactly the same. And the ISO always tends to be in capital letters. Alright, so all you would do to do that is you come down here, press the circle button, and then go down to rename using your trigger buttons at the top. If you press left one trigger button, you can go all the way to just past the dot, and now you can now select backspace and delete that and put in exactly the name of the game. So here it's black with a capital B dot and then capitals ISO .config. Yep. Then you'll press enter. If you then press enter and it gives you a space, which is just done with me, go to backspace and then press enter again. Okay. And then you will find that your file has changed to black.iso.config. Just going to delete that one. Once you've done that, you might find that it's not exactly under black at the moment, but if you come out of it, if you come out of this, and then go back into your PS3 root, into your HDD0, and into PS2 ISO games, you will now find it will be just underneath your black.iso, it will be black.iso.config. Now you need to come out of MultiMAN. And the way you do that is by double clicking on game, come over to retro, hit refresh, and then you would normally just press X on black, but we're not going to do that, because what we're going to do is we're going to come out of this, so quit MultiMAN and return to XMB. Because the configuration's through WebMAN, and what I found is that it won't run the configuration unless you mount the game with WebMAN. So what you would now do is you go to WebMAN Games, WebMAN Setup, and you would now refresh my games in XMB. You'll see a message come up at the top right that it's scanning for content and refreshing. Now you go to WebMAN Games, go to PS2 Games, and there you can see black, So we select that, because that's the game we got the config file with. And then you'll hear your fan kick up, because you should have your PS2 emulation fan speed slightly higher than your normal one. And now you will press X to load the game. You only need to do that once, by the way. Once the config file has been put in there, you can always mount the game through WebMAN, and it will run with the new configuration file. And now if you press the middle button on your controller, this one here, you will find that the temperatures come up at the top left because it's running it through PS2 Classics. So let's try playing it. I can't seem to skip this, so maybe it's because it's the first time I'm playing it. They really did push the PS2 to the limits for its days, I tell you. Great games.
Keller J, Sergeant First Class, serial number 7178412. Iran, Guatemala, Colombia, Croatia. Very impressive.
I know what you're trying to do, sir. It ain't gonna work.
No, Sergeant Keller, you don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm here to clean up this mess. If you cooperate. If I walk out that door, everything you did will be declassified. You will be convicted. You will be discharged. You will spend the rest of your life in prison. Very well, Sergeant. Have it your way.
What do you want me to do?
Tell me everything you know about Seventh Wave.
Weapons dealers. Heavy hitters dealing mostly in high-spec, former Eastern Bloc hardware. Clients began to include terrorist cells. Seventh Wave was escalated to priority status after they took out 9 agency spooks. Coordinated executions. Division wanted Seventh Wave taken out with extreme prejudice. Intel zeroed in on 3 possible targets. Valencia was the boss. Rubin and Yevtushenko were the muscle. 3 teams were tasked with Overwatch until it was time to take them out. I had one of those teams. Intel suspected Brits, Chinese, and Israelis had teams in the area. Everyone was after these guys.
Who was the 4th man?
Gun for hire. Didn't think much of him at the time.
What went wrong?
We got made.
Nice cool temperatures.
Hammerhead 6-2, this is Alpha 2, rise of 2-5. Hammerhead 6-2, this is 2-5, we're pinned down. I have multiple casualties. Request 30 minutes. This is Hammerhead 6-2, traffic advises streets barricaded to the north. We are circling around you to find an alternate route, over. Copy that, 6-2.
Well, now I have to throw a grenade. Trying to get it into a lot of action. Well, I think that shows you that it's all working fine. So yeah, you apply that config file and play the game, and if you find that you've got the same issue, go on to the next config file. So you'd have to delete the one you've got, so the black.iso.config you would delete, then you would go and get the next one and just do the same thing, rename it to black.iso.config and try that, and mount the game through WebMAN after refreshing. Obviously follow the tutorial at the beginning to tick those boxes that I told you in the WebMAN settings. Right, that's everything. I hope that helps, and if you've got any questions you can always ping me on eBay. Cheers, bye.